All right. Well, by now, you should have a goal. You should have something that you want to achieve, something you desire, something that you've always wanted, maybe, or maybe it's something that you've recently decided that you want to achieve. So, today we're going to figure out if your wants, your desires, your goals are smart. So, that's the topic. Is your goal smart? It's actually an acronym or an abbreviation or a, I forget there's another term for it. But anyways, it's a way to really drill down if your goal is smart enough, detailed enough. Let me begin. Goals are a part of every aspect of your career, your business, your life, your health, and provide a sense of direction. Goals give you motivation. Goals often will add clarity and focus, and these are all important. By setting goals, you're providing yourself with a target, right, to aim for, something to shoot for, a lighthouse to look for. A SMART goal is used to help guide goal setting. So SMART is an acronym that stands for specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and timely. Now, you may have heard different words used, but they all kind of basically, typically, like time bound is probably another one I've heard. Realistic, there was another R word, relevant, but kind of all the same synonyms. But SMART is a really good way to break it down. You know, when you think of something that you want to achieve, you can, especially when you have teenagers or peers or people that look up to you, maybe you're a teacher, it's good to ask that individual, is it smart? And then you'll be able to remember what they mean by that acronym. Without a clear agenda, without a map, without something to shoot for, without having a target, it's like being out in the ocean in a dinghy with your oar, paddling around in a circle, not having a clear plan, agenda, map, ensuring that you're pointed even in the right direction. You need to make sure you have the resources, the accountability, and you've thought your goals out thoroughly to allow you to achieve what you really want. You know, is it even achievable? Is it something realistic? You know, are you dreaming too big and your hopes are going to be crushed, which in turn later will affect you when you create new goals? Because you're like, oh, I quit at everything I do. I fail at everything I do. Well, maybe your goals are too big. Maybe your goals are way too unrealistic. So think about it. All right, so specific. Let's start with the S. Be specific about what you want. Clearly and well defined. I'll give you some examples later that are really good. It might actually, I'm going to kind of go over this in like a textbook form, but at the end, it's really, I give you good examples that might open up your mind to really understanding exactly where I'm coming from with this. So when you're specific, you want to have the who involved. Typically it's you, but consider who needs to be involved to achieve your goal. Maybe it's other people. Do you need support at home? Do you have support at home? Do you have support with your family? Do you have support with your friends? Of all these people, maybe there's some people you need to avoid, or maybe there's some people you need to call on, right? Are you in a community or in a space or a group that will help you with each step? Maybe they're a step ahead of you, or maybe they've already been down this journey and they know what to do, what to expect, and how to overcome challenges and barriers. A community is important. We need connection with others. Do you need to hire someone for support, such as myself? A trainer, a coach, a doctor maybe? Maybe you need to get blood work. Who all needs to be on your team? That's the who. The what. Think about what exactly you're trying to accomplish and be very detailed. Where? This can be depending on your goal. It could be at the gym. It could be walking around your neighborhood. It could be at a dance class. It could be in your neighborhood. It really depends on what your goal is, right? It could be in your office at home. It could be You need to go to the university and take classes. I don't know. There's got to be a where somewhere in there. What's your why? The why is tremendously important. I almost said most important. It's not, but it is really, really important to understand your why. There has to be a deep internal why with a lot of feelings. So, what is the reason for your goal? This one can be large. This is the number of reasons, but initially it might be pretty simple. But the greater the reasons why, the greater that list that are personal to you, that you can say at the tip of your tongue and know. And this takes reflection. This takes time and space to create that list. This will give you the greater resistance on those days that are hard, right? No matter what your goal is, there's going to be hard days. It's going to be challenges. There are going to be barriers. I have a motivating factor that can really drill down your why. I've worked extensively hard on it. Reach out to me, message me. It's free. It's easy to do. Well, it definitely will take you 20 minutes, but it will help you with that why. But that will push you through those hard days. So what do you want to have more of, right? All right, so measurable, the M and the SMART. How can you measure your goal, right? Some things are really hard to measure. You're like, I can't really measure that. Like, how would I measure that? I'll explain. By measuring a goal, it makes it more tangible because it provides a way to measure progress. Ways to measure could be weight, probably my least favorite, because when I started my journey, I wanted to be 118 pounds. Standing here right now, I'm probably 142. And I'm so much happier in my body than I would ever be at 118 pounds, but I didn't know. Was that realistic? I thought so, but it wasn't. I don't like weight on a scale because it's not a true measurement of body fat. It's a horrible way to measure things, and it can create negativity and a bad relationship with food, your body, the world, your friends, your family, and that device. Maybe you can measure by the number of steps you take in a day, number of times or reps, or seconds or hours or days or weeks or months or years, maybe a width. I believe in measuring your body is an okay tool. It's better than a scale. Maybe on a scale of 1 to 10. A scale of 1 to 10 is a measurement tool, and that's based on your feelings oftentimes. Maybe it's measurement by distance. Maybe it's amount of weight on food, or I don't know, ounces of water, resistance, clothing size. There's so many different measurements. If you think of other measurements, please comment below. I'd love to know. I tried to think of all the ones that I could think of quickly as I was jotting these things down. But how much? How many? How do you know if you've achieved your goal? Well, you've got to have a measurement, right? You've got to have some sort of measurement and an indicator of progress. This also helps, letting you know, gives you something to cheer about. Some of these are definitely non-scale goals, right? Or non-scale achievements. I like to put that in my Facebook group. You know, what's a non-scale victory? And those will really help. You know, it gives you something to cheer about or get excited about. Keep you pushing forward. A for, in SMART, achievable or attainable. There's all different A words. They're all synonyms, but use the one that works for you. But this focuses on how important the goal is to you and what you can do to make it attainable, and may require developing new skills, maybe changing your personal beliefs, thoughts, or attitudes. I know I had to do a lot of this work myself when I started my journey. I hated water. I didn't drink water unless it contained caffeine in it, and sugar and creamer and all these other crap things that I don't consume much of anymore. I used to make fun of people that drink water. I used to make fun of people that worked out at the gym. I'm like, what a waste of time. Your life is being wasted at the gym. I had really twisted beliefs. And where I obtained them, I don't know. I don't know. No one I knew growing up went to a gym. Just dawned on me. I've never even actually thought about that. I never ever was around people that went to the gym. Ever. right? Growing up, not at all. You work hard, sweat labor, you chop wood, ugh. Anyways. So that might have been where my beliefs came from, was from my environment. But your thoughts and your attitudes also might need to shift and change. You might need to be more open and more curious, right? How did I become more open and curious? I hired a coach, and she says, this is the way. There's no other way. Just do it. Okay. The goal is meant to inspire motivation, not discourage it. So with my situation there, she told me it was the only way. So I had no choice. And the other thing too, I hated eggs. Like the only way I would eat eggs or consume eggs actually, like Fear Factor, I watched that show back, I don't know, when was that, in the early 2000s? I would watch that show, and whenever they would consume raw egg, I didn't care what size it was, small or large, but that was like the thing that I'm terrified of heights, but I knew that I could still do it because they're not going to make me do something that's going to kill me. But the egg thing or the bird, where the egg is pretty well developed into a bird, they had some of that too. And I was like, no, that's where I would tap out. So eggs was something a belief that I had to get over, a thought or an attitude that I was like, I will not eat eggs. I don't care. I don't care if I could win $100,000, I wouldn't eat a raw egg. But I had to get over that. And I did quickly. In fact, I eat eggs every day. Well, mostly egg whites. But the thing is learn to be open and curious. Open up your mind and be more curious. Stop being closed-minded. But also think about how to accomplish the goal, and if you have the tools or the skills or the education that you need, right? Through my journey, as I look back, I've got a tremendous amount of certifications and schooling, but I enjoy it. I love it. I'm passionate about it. I enjoy it tremendously. I apply all of it to my life throughout the rest. But, you've got to learn. You've got to develop those skills and learnings and educations. If you don't currently possess those skills or tools, consider what it would take to obtain them. There's tons of free online training or podcasts or YouTubes. Just jones out on whatever that topic is that you need to learn more about in that realm of your goal. Sometimes unrealistic goals can be set, and when the reality hits that the goal was far too big or maybe unrealistic, it can deflate the motivation and cause a person to quit altogether. I mentioned that earlier. Your goal needs to be realistic, right? So, maybe you want to lose 100 pounds. You need to chop it down to make it something smaller, maybe every 15 pounds, celebrate or do something fun. Obviously not surrounding food probably, but do something that really keeps you pushing forward, but make those goals smaller, because something really large, really audacious is gonna, crush you. Researching what is realistic and achievable is really important. So do your research, do your Googling, find somebody that's done your goal, talk to them, get a mentor. That's really, really good. For weight loss, mentors can be very dangerous. They might be following fad diets and doing things that are dangerous or may be okay for them, but not okay for you. So be wary of that. Weight loss, for instance, we are human. We're all looking for quick fixes pretty much on everything. Something fast. We want the results now. I experience this too sometimes with my education. Like I just want to get the certification done and out of the way. And when I feel that thought coming up, I have to really sit down and write about it and realize I really want to enjoy this. I want to walk away, not just with a certification and barely skating by. I want to walk away achieving something and being proud of it. So that applies to everything in life. If you're looking for the quick fix, you might want to stop and have a talk with yourself or write about it. But again, on the health side of things, it can damage your health, can damage your organs, can cause permanent damage that you wouldn't know until much later in life. We don't want to lose muscle mass, bone density. You don't want to be that skinny fat at the end either. So there's a lot of risk involved with doing things the fast way. So do things slow and steady. The healthy way will result in better results. You'll be happy with your body. Some more questions to ask. Do I have the resources and capabilities to achieve the goal? If not, what am I missing? Do I need a gym membership? Do I need a new bank account, new clothes, what do I need? A lot of this, my notes, I pertain to health and wellness or weight loss, because that's kind of a lot of what I deal with. So you might have to kind of change this up a little bit if your goals are a little bit different. Have others done it successfully before, whatever your goal is? Again, ask some questions, but question everything. Is it going to be good for me? Is it right for me? Is it a good fit for me? How will you know that you've achieved this? Obviously, that was back to those measurements. There's some sort of finish line, right? What are you going to do after you hit that finish line? A lot of people, when they lose that certain amount of weight, then they revert back to their old ways, thinking that I can eat back like the way I used to, and that's not true. That finish line is ever moving. Once you lose or get rid of a certain amount of body fat, then you're like, okay, what's next? So you got to create a new goal. Maybe it's to create a six-pack, or maybe it's just to get bigger, stronger legs, or have calves, or be able to run a mile in 7 minutes. I don't know. You got to create new goals. Will achieving this help you in some meaningful way in your life? This is powerful. I think this kind of goes back to your why again. There's got to be powerful reasons why you want to achieve this. Is it exciting and motivating? Again, it's kind of back to that why. You've got to know why intrinsically, internally, deep rooted in you. It can't be because your husband wants you, your doctor wants you. It's got to be because you want it. Relevant and realistic. Relevance refers to focusing on something that makes sense within reach, that's realistic, relevant to your life purpose, and your personal values. I mentioned personal values a few times in here. It's something I've been really focusing a lot with my coaching clients, is drilling down what their personal values are. I grant you, these personal values might change and shift and modify throughout your life, maybe day by day or every 5 years, but it's really important to know what your values are and see if you're in alignment with all sorts of things that you face, with stress, with goals, with anything that you're dealing with, any resistance that you're having. You really need to know what your personal values are. It will help you prevail. Is the goal realistic? Is it within reach? Are you able to commit to this goal? That's a huge one, right? Is it going to take more time out of your day or week or month? Are you able to carve out that time? If you're not, make time for it. Does it put fire in your belly? It might put fire in your belly right away, but is that going to fade? How do you not allow it to fade? Is to create a motivating factor, to create something so you understand why you're doing it, so you have something to look at when things get tough. So why am I doing this? Is it intrinsically important? Am I doing it for myself and not someone else? That's really important. Is it a priority to me? That's so important. What you focus on improves. And then, if it truly is an important goal to you, you'll put it front and center every day. You'll think about it and do something that pushes you towards it. Will it compete with other goals in your life? You don't want it competing for your time. That'll cause frustration and something's going to fall apart. You have only 100% to give every day. And so do you need to get rid of something before tackling this goal first, right? A lot of times that's clearing out the clutter, right? Removing some projects, removing things that you've started that are laying around in the house, and you walk by it every time, and subconsciously your mind is like, oh, I got to finish that. Box it up, donate it, give it away, finish it before you start on a new goal. Time bound. This should be really easy to understand. It's clear, specific timeline. You got a start date. You got a target date. If the goal takes 3 months, it's beneficial to define and achieve a midway point, right? How am I doing? Do a check-in, or maybe weekly. This creates a sense of urgency too. It kind of reminds me of the whole, when somebody's going to come over on Saturday, right, to your house. You might keep your house somewhat clean, but it's, your clean, not their, a guest clean. So when you know they're coming over on Saturday, that urgency is like, oh crap, I'm gonna need to, make this house look like nobody lives here. So adding some time really helps. I also recommend adding some padding if you can. Some people are trying to achieve a goal by a wedding date or a date that they can't change, they have no control over. But I always like to add some padding in case life gets in the way, or we slip and need help getting put back together. So adding a little padding if possible is great. Does my goal have a deadline? Gotta have a deadline. I don't like a moving deadline, a moving target. You've got to have a solid deadline. How will you track it to ensure that you're staying on track? I have a wellness app that's very affordable. Once a month, I always have a $10 offer for 2 weeks. It's really fun to try to test drive it. But, are you tracking the things necessary to get you to your goal? By when do you want to achieve it? I already mentioned that. If you really put effort and focus into your energies, right, the energies that are moving you forward, is this something you can reasonably believe that you can achieve by the deadline? And believing that you can achieve it is really important. If your thoughts are, oh, I'm going to half-ass this and I'm going to try, that says you don't believe it. So you need to make sure your thoughts are clear. And then have you set up mini milestones to reward yourself throughout the process, right? Every week, every 2 weeks. We need rewards. We behave much better. We stay on track much better. We get better results when we have rewards. Just like when we were kids, we would get rewarded for cleaning our bedroom by being able to play outside. We would clean our bedroom so fast, right? But if you have no reward, it might take days before your bedroom's clean. All right, so common sense SMART goals don't work. Common reasons SMART goals don't work. I don't know where that came from. Cannot read, apparently. These ones that need more tweaking or need adjustment might be too vague. No time limit. There's no passion. There's no real lingo in there that kind of says, whoa, you were really excited about this. Not clear why you're wanting to even do this, what the success is going to give you. It also might be too long. If maybe you're wanting to lose 100 pounds and, I don't know, at 2 years or whatever, maybe it's just way too much to wrap a person's head around. And that's just really far out there. So you end up losing interest. It ends up getting monotonous. It ends up getting put on the back burner. So break it down smaller, like I said, 15 pounds at a time. What does it look like? Be able to have a good description on what it looks like. Be able to tell someone, this is what I'm after. This is what I'm trying to do, and be really detailed about it. So here's a great example. I want to lose weight. Super vague, right? No time limit. It's not a SMART goal. Here's one that is SMART. On August 1st, I will obtain a membership at my local gym at the local community center. In order to be healthier, I will work out 4 days a week. Every week, I will aim to lose 1 pound of body fat each week. By the end of August 1st, I will realize my goal, and I will have lost 4 pounds of body fat over the course of this month. I want to get fit. Again, something way too vague, not specific. What does that mean to you? It might mean something different to me. Here's how to make it specific. I want to eat 5 healthy meals per day made from home and go to the gym 2 times a week for 15 minutes over the next 6 months so I look great for my high school reunion that's coming up this fall. My only question would be, what does eating healthy look like, right? And maybe we should chop up that goal into smaller bits. Just some thoughts. Here's another one. I want to reduce my risk of cancer. Super vague, right? It's not specific at all. Here's one that makes it more specific. I will start exercising 5 days a week for 30 minutes a day starting on Monday in order to reduce my risk of cancer because cancer runs in my family. I already eat healthy. I know moving my body has many benefits, including preventing the type of cancer that I want to avoid. That's pretty good, right? Here's another one. I want to lose weight to get more attention from my partner. This is not relevant. Okay, there's no guarantee, there's no promise that you lose the weight your spouse is going to, or your partner is going to give you more attention. there might be other issues or things that need to be addressed. And this is not intrinsic, has nothing to do with you, really. I mean, if it had more lingo in their language, maybe, but it's not intrinsic at all. So I kind of really don't have a good example for that one. I think in that situation, there's so much more questions that I would have. But here's another example. I want to be happier. Crazy vague, not enough information. So here's a way to make it more specific. I want to increase my overall happiness from a 2 to an 8. 5 out of 7 days a week. Feeling happier will increase my confidence and willingness to do things with my friends and family that I care about so much. Okay, so this one needs to have maybe, I don't know. I mean, it doesn't have a timeline on it. It's probably the only thing that I could say on that one. And I might want to pin down, how often do you want to go do things with your friends or family, and what would that look like? I would want more detail on that for sure. Here's another one. I want to improve my relationship. I want to argue less with my spouse. So I want to improve my relationship. Way too vague, right? Not specific enough. So here's more detail. I want to argue less with my spouse, picking a fight no more than 1 time per week. And when we spend time with each other at dinner, we have to put our phones away and engage in meaningful conversations about our day. So I guess it is somewhat measurable. I guess it does. It mentions the week. I would want more meaning to it, even though it says meaningful conversations. It's still really good. I feel like that's a great example. But as you see, it's really, really important to have a lot more clarity on your goals. Just saying, I want to be happier, I want a better relationship with so-and-so, or I want to lose weight, is just not enough. What you really need is a coach or someone that can hold you accountable, that can be there for you on those hard days, push you through the challenges and barriers that you're most likely going to face. So I hope you enjoyed this. Hope you gained something from it. And let me know if you want to create a motivating factor. Again, it's a link I give to you. It's free. It's a great resource that I've worked really hard on, and I know you'll enjoy. All right, see you in the next one.